Welcome to the Just Josh podcast.
Who the fuck is this guy? Hey, who the fuck are you? Huh? Who the fuck are you?
This whole thing's a little weird.
Never you fear, laddie buck.
What's going on, Bobby?
Shit, man, just hanging out. Got the Christmas decorations taken down today. I got the little dude all bathed and in bed, and now I got time to talk to you guys and rip on this neat little pen. It's dad time.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate you coming on. I know you're very busy and the kid and everything. Have you met Robbie before?
Have we met before, Robbie? I'm so bad with stuff like that. Probably,
no, it's all good. No, it's all good. We have met before. I used to work for Ballyhoo and I was mixing them, and the first time I saw you guys, we played this wine orchard place with Badfish.
Oh, yeah.
It was like up in New York.
I was there too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I forgot. I totally forgot.
Man,
So
I think I shaved a couple guys' heads that day, but just the middle to make them look like old men.
Yeah, I think I kind of remember that.
Yeah, our trumpet player and our buddy Tony's from that area.
That was a cool day. I remember that day.
That was a fun day. I like that place. That's a cool winery, man. There's
it
a
really
cool,
was.
like where they had all like the hospitality for artists and everything. It was like had that like lake back there. You could just go sit on that big ass porch and just hang out, smoke a blunt, chill, eat some cheese. It was really cool.
Yeah, honestly, wine orchards should like really get more on that with having live shows at their place. You know, it was a perfect spot. You know,
it was good. There's another one around there that we've done before, the Willow Creek Winery, and I think the only two wineries we've really played are like within 30 minutes of each other by Buffalo.
Yeah, I did one in Napa with Pepper in Napa Valley in California. That was pretty awesome. It was beautiful.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, you guys are kind of like family because you work with. Now, is your new album, are you guys doing that through Ineffable?
Yeah, we've done prior to this one, we did like one full-length album and the Flyover Renaissance EP. Mm-hmm. Both came out through Ineffable, but they were just kind of like putting the music out at that point. So now we're like under their management umbrella and everything, and they had a lot heavier of a hand in just helping with this album and giving their input on what we were doing, helping us land the features we had on it and stuff like that. Much more so than before, because we were putting the music out through them, but we weren't like under the management umbrella. So now that we're like just a closer part of the family and everything, they were just really involved with a lot of it, and I think it definitely made for a better album.
Yeah, man, you got a lot of great features on here too. Swayze, Devin the Dude.
Yeah, I used to listen to Swayze back in high school, and like, I just never would have thought like Devin the Dude too. But it's like that makes more sense just because he's like that stoner dude and shit. And for some reason, like that, just like that pop Swayze thing was like, I just never would have thought we would have ended up doing it. And maybe it made more sense to other people than like, not that it didn't make sense. I was just, oh shit, Swayze, sweet, that's really fucking cool. Like, I used to get high as fuck to this guy's music. This is awesome.
Yeah, I did see some comments like some of the fans, because they're used to some of the stuff you've done in the past with this new album, with all the features and stuff. It was definitely a different direction, maybe not even a direction, but just a different vibe. And I love it, man. I mean, it's a great album. I was bumping it all today.
Thanks, man. I was really stoked. We tried to make it different. We kind of try to make every album we do different. If you were to like listen to one to one, you could definitely hear a difference in the progression of like what we do. At least I think so. I think very much everything we've done is like the same components, just rearranged differently. So I could totally like music nerd out and be like, oh, well, like this song, I use these ideas from this song I did like on this album that came from this song I did on this album, like trace it back as far as like all these like little things that we do to assemble a song. But this particular album wasn't rushed like all of our other ones. And we weren't like trying to cram writing our parts and then not discussing our parts with each other, just like banging it out at practice, getting in there and recording really fast and being pressured and being on the road all the time. And so it was really this album, we just like the chunk of the writing for it was just like 6 weeks in the summertime we would just show up to the studio in the morning and not really have a plan. And we just go in there and be like, all right, here's the idea folder. Like, let's just pull something out and see what feels right today. And it was just like this really easygoing, lax, organic. We weren't on tour because of the COVID and everything. So it was like, oh, I haven't been spending every waking moment with you guys forever. Like, it's good to see you actually want to hang out.
Yeah.
So it was, I think the energy between us was better too. And our producer, worked with the new producer on this one. And I mean, we've all been friends with him forever. James, they've been inseparable since they were like, you know, like 13 or 14 or something. So it was cool to come full circle and have him as our producer, but he also brought out a lot of that new element to it. I think he had a lot to do with the low end on it. And I think he had a lot to do with just getting the best out of us individually as far as like our performances on the album go.
That's really cool. Yeah, to be able to come full circle and bring the homies along. But when we were talking before about the you know, the change in sound, I just think I always find it funny when like I'll see someone comment like, "Oh, it's so different." I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's the point. Like, they should all sound different. Like, you can't.
It's a new album.
I mean, I get why they.
Yeah,
say
I don't want
it.
to write the same one twice. Like, what fun is that, man?
Yeah, it's just.
But you know, we're always trying to do something a little newer. And just, you know, add something else. Like, what have we not done before? What have we not experimented with? And how are we feeling right now? You know, I think mood and environment, what you're going through in your personal lives, like all of that absolutely affects the outcome of any art we put out. So it's a timestamp of where all of us were in our lives. Just like the album, the EP that we put out before that was a much, much more depressing, lo-fi, jazz rap sounding timestamp of our lives.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the next one will be wherever we're at coming up. I know we're already starting to kind of like work on stuff. I was laying down to some like demo keyboard stuff to send over to Matt earlier, just to get the ball rolling and just like, you know, start playing with whatever it is we're going to do next. And I don't, you know, it might sound like the last one. It might not. I have really no idea until we make it, but it'll sound like us. I can promise that much.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a distinct sound. We got to tour together. That was one of the first full lengths I did, just because I was always in school or like the backup, and I had a lot of fun with you guys, Bumping Uglies and you guys. And
that was a good bill, man. That was such a blast to just every day hanging out with everybody. Like, that was a good, fun tour, man.
Yeah, actually, I think I have a picture here from it. Let me see. I think I got some of the merch guys. Yeah, this was it, I think, with Vinny. I actually have Vinny coming on, too. Vinny's going to come on and chat with me at some point. So
Vinny's the boy, man. He's like stepped up as far as like the climbing the ladder and whatever weird twacked out business we've created ourselves.
Yeah.
But he's running the online store from home. So it's like, it's cool to see like just getting to that point where it's just like, I remember traveling with that dude in a school bus that had no air conditioning, no heat, just like roughing it, like playing on the street in Chicago because we didn't have shows for 3 days. I had to find a way to make some kind of money. And it's like, now we're at a point where it's just like, my boy can just still be a part of this from home and be able to do something that fits in with his life more, but still be a part of what we've spent years creating together and everything. And he has been such a big part of like all of the process getting to this point. Just like,
yeah,
you know, setting up the stuff, making sure we're getting paid, making sure we're where we need to be on time. Like, for years, it was like he was right up there in the shit with us. Just like, you know, there's music videos and shit you'll see Vinny in, because it's just like Vinny was like the extra band member, and now he gets to like, you know, do the online thing. It's cool to see. And I'm happy for that dude. I'm glad you're having him on.
Yeah, no, shout out to Merch Guy Merch. He's doing a lot of stuff, helping out a lot of bands as well during this time by promoting.
He's good at it. Any of you guys that get on that with him, like, he made a good move. That guy I'm happy with him.
Yeah, dude. I like him and Justin. Just you know, are just two solid dudes.
I love Justin, man.
I had such a good time with them. Very genuine people. Actually, Vinny, after that tour, he hooked me up with your why am I blanking? The festival that you guys do, Freakstomp.
Oh, Freakstomp.
Yeah, and man, I can't tell you how great a festival that was. It was professional. It was well put together. The vibe was good. I'm telling you, I had more fun at that festival than I did where I'm paying like $300-400. It was such a good time. It was
hell yeah, man.
Really,
that's what we aim for. We're always It was going to be even better last summer, but
know.
nobody got to have festivals last summer. So I was the guy we partner with to put on the festival. I was like in his ear. We were out in Vegas for all the 311 shit right before it blew. And I remember being in a hotel room in Vegas with him, just like, Jim, we already have to have the fire department there.
Yeah.
Let me have Pyro on stage, dude. Just come on. Like, let me just four simple ones. Just like, let's blow them off at the beginning, blow them off once in the middle, blow them off at the big finale. Just like, come on, bro. Let me have fire. We're already paying for the firemen to be here. And he wouldn't give me a straight answer because for some reason they don't want me to play with fire. I guess it's dangerous.
Can't have any fun anymore, man. Can't,
I know. Oh, dude, trust me. I'm not giving up on it.
I'm just we can't even entertain the crowd.
Fire, buddy, fire. It's people would love it. Who doesn't love pyrotechnics at a concert?
Oh, it's always great.
Like now it's all the fog machine and stuff, and it's like, where's the fire?
Nah, I want fire, dude.
Yeah, me too.
Fire.
Yeah, some bands, they just like even if they're not allowed to have fire, they'll just pay the fine. They'll be like, no, we're gonna have fire, so we're just gonna pay the fine.
See, and if we had to do that, I would definitely get told no.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know, because like I remember the early days of, and I'm probably the only guy in my band who even likes Motley Crue, but I remember the early like Motley Crue stories out here. Like those dudes would be in like tiny ass LA clubs, and they would be doing all like the crazy fireworks,
shit.
Fuck. But you can't do stuff. You can't get away with the shit you could get away with in the 80s. I hear stories of people get away with stuff in the 80s. I'm like, how did you even like think to like do like no way you could get away with some of the shit people do, and it was just normal. I'm just so many things you could just do whatever the hell you wanted. I'm just like, there's so many rules now, man.
Especially in Hollywood, you could do. Like I couldn't imagine like being in the 80s with Motley Crue in their heyday, like at Whiskey.
I mean, half of those people are either dead or I'm surprised they haven't died. Did you ever see the Motley Crue biography?
Yeah,
they just did with MGK.
Kelly plays Tommy Lee and shit.
It was all right.
It was all right. I'll give MGK props for his acting. It was pretty good. I mean, he's not a great actor, but like it was good.
He was a great Tommy Lee.
He was
like
so
as far
good.
as like you're supposed to play Tommy Lee and convince me that you're Tommy Lee, and you did a really good job of convincing me that, like, you acted just like Tommy Lee.
Yep.
I remember when that dude had that. You guys ever watched that? I don't know. It was probably like 15 years ago. It was like Tommy Lee Goes to College or some shit on NBC.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was doing reality TV for a little bit there.
Well, I know he had that thing on MTV for a while with Pam, like back in the day, right?
Yeah, he had that.
The love one.
Yeah, and he did the Goes to College, and he's put out a bunch of his own singles and stuff. He's always doing something.
He does like some like production stuff. Like he was always into like electronic music, even in the 90s and shit.
Yeah.
Tommy Land was the first rock star biography I ever read. And it is kind of a letdown to grow up and realize that like one of my heroes from being like a 13, 14, like this is what I want to do with the rest of my life is like kind of a piece of shit. And
yeah, he's a huge piece of shit. That's okay.
It's just like, man, like that's just I need to look up the better guys. The Incubus guys haven't let me down though. Those dudes all seem to be solid human beings. So
which guys?
You can count on some of your heroes. Incubus. I've never met Incubus, but
my God.
I have not been let down by any like just like, man, you did what?
They probably
you did what?
They probably all like do yoga and meditate and write poetry and like just very chill, incense everywhere, like that type of vibe. That's the vibe I get from them. So.
Dude, totally. I mean, shit. Brandon Boyd does a lot of like paint, like his own like artwork and like paintings and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, I love him. Like I love his work.
Him and Brendan Urie are probably my two favorite singers or artists that I would love to be able to kind of sing like. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again since we're talking about it. Incubus is one of my favorite. Is it up there? I guess you can see it in there. Oh yeah, right up there left. And they're one of my favorite bands, and we were just on tour with Fayuka and Article last year. And I happened, like, before I knew I was doing that tour, I had bought Incubus tickets for Radio City, and it was 20 years of Make Yourself. So I was super, super excited about that. And it was like the second day of tour. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to pull this off. Like, that's such, as a crew member, you're like, I can't bounce on tour like the second day. But it just happened. We had a day off. So it worked out. And the guys are totally cool. They're like, as long as you're back in Colorado, go for it. So me and Alex, we left the show. We got a hotel for like 2 hours and slept for like 2 hours. Then we went to the airport at like 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning. He flew to Maryland. I flew to New York, saw Incubus. It was amazing. Probably one of my top 5 concerts I've ever seen. I flew back that same night and landed in Colorado like at like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and like waited for them to open up the venue. I was there like 8 hours before the band, but it was totally worth it.
That sounds totally worth it, man. I've seen them live any chance I get, and I actually missed that tour coming through Ohio because I was on tour.
Yeah.
But I'd seen them probably like 4 or 5 previous times they'd come through the state, and it's every time I'm just like, man, this is just, you guys are all just individually so good and collectively even better. And they, even some of their like the side A of Trustfall, when that came out, I saw them around that time, and there were songs in there that like when I heard them come out, I was just like Makeout Party was one where I heard the track and I was like, yeah, like I love Incubus, but don't know if I'm like a huge fan of this track. And then they played the track live, and I was just like,
yes.
Oh man,
was that the album where they had Promises on it and stuff like that?
No, that was Trustfall is an EP that came out after that.
Okay.
That was,
Okay, yeah.
What the hell was the name of that album?
If not now, when?
When?
That's my favorite album of theirs. That's when I like really started listening to them.
Really?
Yeah. Like when that album came out, I was like, all right, I'm gonna dig in. You know?
I was always Fungus. Like I got into him when I was super young, and he was probably not that much older because like I'm pretty sure they got signed when he was like 14, like 15 or 16.
Probably.
Like,
yeah, Fungus
crazy.
and Fungus was when they were like 15, 16 years old.
It's crazy, and that's such a good album still. But I remember a lot of fans were kind of poo-pooing the If Not Now When
Anything
because it was softer. But dude, those are some of the best songs live.
In the Company of Wolves,
like you said,
favorite.
like you hear it.
Dude, that
like,
is such a Pink Floyd sounding Incubus
and that's
song.
exactly what
like...
that's exactly what they went for. They wanted that first half to be like Pink Floyd, and then boom, we're gonna completely change it on you with like the low, like vibey, dark, whatever they do afterwards. Great song.
Yeah, it was just like the way he sings it and the bass line going on, and it's. And dude, when they play that song live, he puts this crazy like tribal mask on or something.
Yeah, and he has a drum.
Yeah, I've never seen him live. I got to see him live.
Really?
Yeah,
they're
so good.
You got to do it. You're gonna do it once, and you'll be like, I need to see him live every time I ever.
Well, dude, we could have seen him this summer with 311.
Bro,
I mean, what a stacked show!
I know. I wanted to see that so bad.
I've been waiting since I was a kid.
Are they gonna? That lineup will come back though. I mean, they're gonna.
Well, I don't know. It's gonna be hard. Well, see, the only reason I think it worked out is because Live Nation did it and are able to carry those 2 type of bands. Whereas I don't think 311 doing their own tours would be able to have Incubus because they'd have to pay them too much.
Yeah, but I mean. It's going to come back.
So what I heard, I thought maybe they would just reschedule it for next summer. And what I heard is they're not. Like that, because of COVID, since it was out of their control, the 3-tour deal they had with Live Nation to do Offspring is over. So they don't have to do it, so I guess they're not. Well, and that sucks.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I hope they got to bring it back.
What they should do is reschedule the tour and just have us open for them.
Yes.
Yes. Incubus, if you're listening.
I 100% agree. 100% agree.
You guys probably would be a good fit too.
Dude, you guys would be a great fit.
Yeah.
Great fit for that.
311's given. We owe a lot to those guys. Like just the opportunities they put us on. Their manager Peter Assler is just like he's taken such good care of us anytime that we've done anything with them, and they have like just like the most like just really like well-oiled machine, like hardworking crew, pleasant people to be around, and just like those guys are awesome. And I think we owe a lot to them to as far as like where we are right now, like the being on the cruise, being in Vegas before the pandemic hit. That was nuts, man.
Dude. That was a lot of fun, man. I didn't even get to see you that weekend.
That was a wild. That started for us in Reno. We played in the theater with them in Reno, and it was like in a casino. There was a theater and there was a nightclub next to the theater. And the theater gave us a table at the nightclub just because we were playing. So
that's awesome.
Genuine happened to be playing in the nightclub.
Oh, really?
And that was the beginning of the like. James ended up twerking on a table. They gave us a bottle of Sky. We were drinking Sky and orange juice, and just like. But then we went hard for like 5 days after that because we went to Vegas and we'd been on tour for 7 weeks, and we finally made it to Vegas. Mm-hmm. Didn't even really realize. Like it was right on that edge of just like people were starting to kind of give a shit about the coronavirus. So it was like as we were there, just all just like, man, I'm in Vegas for 5 days and it was awesome and crazy, and then just like come home to like everything being stopped.
And that was also one of the best 311 days I've ever been to musically too.
Oh, so good, man.
So
Even
good.
the countdown before they started playing was
Fucking
freaking awesome.
Dope. Yeah, that was like a show in itself. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I actually got this. I wore my Tropidelic hoodie and I got one of these 3D figurines made of me.
Oh, no shit.
It's crazy.
That's dope.
I actually think Matt might have posted a picture on your Tropidelic page, but yeah. So you guys are ever immortalized on my desk, which is super
Dude,
dope.
hell yeah. That's cool. We're on an action figure.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime I had a guest in, I would love to just get a 3D action figure of them made and then send it to them, like, you know, as a gift. And I tried to reach out to the company and they wouldn't do it. How?
It's weak.
Yeah, I was like, I know we can't do it in person, but like, there's got to be a way we can send pictures and you can have people render it 3D. Like, if we get like a front, a side, and a back, like,
Yeah.
you've got to be able to somehow figure out a way to do it. But maybe one day. Dude.
One day.
So the reason that we actually kind of linked up and started to get you on this podcast was because we were talking about Mandalorian online and like the Star Wars and stuff. And I grew up with the originals. Like, I mean, there was 77, 80, and 83, but I was born in 84. So when I was growing up, I had those. And then the first 3 episodes come out. And here's the thing. When I was like kind of a teen-ish, I was more into music and other things. I was less into Star Wars. I saw the movies. But I remember Jar Jar Binks just annoying the crap out of me. And like kind of almost ruining the first 2 movies. So I didn't really get into it. And I've seen every Star Wars, but not in order. When I knew you were coming on, I'm like, I need to go back and watch. So I went back this week. I watched every single movie in order chronologically for the storyline. And man, I'm like on a whole different level, like of excited and like how much I just love Star Wars and forgot how much I love it because of being able to put everything together now as an adult. You know, when I was growing up, it wasn't always the same, but yeah. And then episode 3 to me was like such a good movie. And I don't remember it being good because Jar Jar ruined it for me when I was like 15. But yeah, dude.
See, I was like the perfect age where I was just old enough to go see Star Wars with my dad when I was like 5 or 6 or something. And they had re-released the original ones in the movie theater.
Oh yeah.
And it was before episode 1, 2, 3 came out. So like I was introduced to Star Wars in the movie theater as a little kid.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I got to have that like original, like that was my first image of Star Wars, but I was also still such a young age when the episodes came out that it was like, you know, I wasn't quite to that like teenage, like I don't give a shit about stuff like this. I just want to play my guitar and smoke pot.
Right.
Like I was a little kid and it was more Star Wars. So it was like, you know, I wasn't thinking about all the stuff that people like bitch about on the internet these days. And and like you were saying when you were watching it, how you were just excited and you just love Star Wars so much. It's like that's kind of where I'm at with it, where it's just like I'm not gonna be too picky. Like I'll give my critiques on it, but like at the end of the day, like give me as much Star Wars material as you have. Like I'm gonna watch it all anyway. And I don't hate the episodes. I think that they needed the Clone Wars as a series to really tie together the in between the episode 2 and episode 3, because I do think if you just watch the movies and you've never seen the Clone Wars, Anakin freaking out on the Jedi Council is just kind of like, dude, you're being kind of a brat, like chill out. But if you see all the Clone Wars stuff, you're just like, you're kind of fed up with the Jedi Council too, but when it gets to that point, so you're just like, it really just like brings out and humanizes the whole Anakin becoming Darth Vader thing.
Yeah, you almost sympathize with them. You're like, I see why you would turn to the dark side.
I would 100. If I was in the same position as him, I would 100% end up making the same fucking mistakes as him and freaking out, trying to save my wife from dying during childbirth and trying to control everything. And like, it's, you know, it's because he's afraid of losing somebody. It's the whole point of it. And it really, I think that series like makes it so much easier to like just feel the emotional weight of all that.
What's crazy to me too is that I didn't realize Natalie Portman was only 16 in that first one. Because
no shit, really?
That's how old I was. So I was like her age. So to me, it didn't, or maybe I was even younger. So to me, she seems older but she wasn't. She was 16. Like, that's fucking crazy.
That is wild.
And
I did not know that.
I noticed they didn't sexualize her until the second one.
Well, and it
Because then
makes sense with her character too. Just because
Yeah.
she's, you know, Anakin being the one that she does fall. You know, he's like 10 years old, I think, in the movie. So like 16-year-old actress, I think the character would probably be roughly about that age.
That's true. That is true. See, I don't think about. I'm not good at thinking about stuff like that when I'm watching stuff. I'm just like, but I'm glad they didn't, because I feel like. But I was watching. I'm thinking in my head, man, they couldn't pull off some of this, or some of the movies from back in the day, like people would get in an uproar about, you know.
Yeah.
But from doing the research and going back, like you said, Clone Wars. So that's another reason it didn't kind of all go together for me when I was younger. Because I think Clone Wars came out after I was kind of already out at, maybe, it came out after episode 3. So like,
Well, that was something that like came out even when I was a teenager. So I didn't like when it was airing. I didn't have time to be home and watch TV or anything like that. I was out.
Right.
I was out doing hood rat shit with my friends. So,
yeah. But now
you know,
that
I had to catch up on all that stuff myself. But then when I did, it was just like, wow, this is really just like there's so many. Like I think it's one of the best additions to the whole universe of Star Wars. Like period.
Yes.
Yeah, the Clone Wars is really good. I like that it's not. There are like kind of like campy, cheesy episodes, but for the most part, it's like military operations, which is good, you know, and it's a lot of action, you know. So.
Well, it really like you get to understand the war, which I think that's one of my favorite parts about Star Wars, and why I like the prequels so much is the political side of it. Like seeing how it's a galactic democracy, and seeing how this dude manipulates everything and like sets up all these pieces like a damn chess game, plays both sides of a war, and getting to see all that military stuff in the Clone Wars is like adds that extra layer. Again, the Clone Wars is just like adding layers and layers, all this shit. But like it's like, what is Natalie Portman says something. It's like, this is how we lose democracy with the with a thunderous applause. Or something. I can't even remember the quote, but
but
I should have done my homework more, man.
No,
there's so much. I didn't know which way we're gonna go with the Star Wars stuff.
No, there's so much. But to your point too, again, is like, because of you, I went back and I actually watched Clone Wars for the first time. Now I haven't seen everything, but it opened up a whole new dimension for me as far as understanding.
Ahsoka is my favorite Jedi. Like, you see her like grow up and come into her own. Like the last 4 episodes of the entire series of Clone Wars is just it's like those 4 episodes could play like a movie, and I think it's one of the better like film length Star Wars stories in there. And then the Rebels show, Ahsoka's in that, and there's some good moments between her and Vader in that.
Now, is she the one they're doing the Disney Plus movie show about?
Yeah. She was the orange one with the white lightsabers in Mandalorian.
Okay, great. Yeah. So another reason is like going from like live action to cartoon when I was that young, or when Clone Wars came out, was hard too. You know, so like I think if they did Clone Wars as a movie, I would have known more about it. But yeah, I mean, it ties everything together, and then it makes me even more excited for like the stuff that's coming out on Disney Plus.
Oh, well, there's so many things that are like, if you see that, like Mandalorian is a good example. Like, there are so many things in Clone Wars, and if you continue after you finish that and watch Rebels, like both of those cartoon series have so much shit it pops up in the Mandalorian, and I'm just like, already know what it is because of those. Having watched those, I'm just like, dude, what, like the dark saber was at the end of season 1 of Mandalorian, that thing lit up. I was just like, that's like
I know what that is. I know what that is.
Yes.
And then when Bo-Katan came in, and you know, you see all these previously established Mandalorians and the history they have with each other, and it's just like, man, what other characters are they going to bring back? And I've got a pretty good idea of some characters that are going to be brought to this live action stuff that I'm, you know, some Rebels characters and stuff, and I'm just like, I feel like such an extra Star Wars nerd, because I'll talk to Star Wars nerds about this, and they'll be like, oh no, I need to watch that. I'm like, and I need more shit to do with my time.
Yeah. And then when I was doing that, speaking of sabers, so when I was looking it up at the Disney, you can go to Disney and make your own custom lightsaber. Have you seen that?
Oh, dude, I'm holding off until my kid's 5.
Yes.
We're going to go to Disney World for his 5th birthday, and we're going to make lightsabers together. My son's name's Lando. So
Nice.
Oh, nice.
yes, it's Orlando's his government name, but
His government name,
I
yeah.
agreed to Orlando as the name because I was like, oh, dude, I could call him Lando.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's a great name. And you know what's crazy, real quick, speaking of your kid? I swear to God that I feel like he was just born yesterday. And then I looked at I'm like, dude, he's 2 years old almost. Like,
yeah, he's gonna be fucking 2 in March.
How crazy is
like,
that?
You're like a little person. Like you,
dude, he's so big.
He can communicate things to me now, and like, he'll tell me if he wants juice or something like that, or if he wants an apple, and he'll, I got my dad skills going. This gets him to sit down, and I'm really, really like stoked on myself for that one lately because I'm just like, oh, you listen, like this is trained. All right.
Yeah.
He doesn't listen to everything I tell him. He's a toddler, and he's still. Toddlers are like little drunk people, man.
Yeah, they really are.
They're like, there's just like there's no method to the madness of a toddler. It's just like, all right, I don't.
Yeah, they can kind of move around. They have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so this is you can go in and you can build your own lightsabers, and there's this whole process. So you pick out you pick out your rock, and I guess that's like the battery,
the kyber crystal. And then they give you like your own.
Robbie knows his shit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Well, that's why I brought him in here because I was like, I need some backup on this one. And then you can pick out the different elements that you want in your saber.
That is so awesome. And I can't wait to do that.
Yes, that's going to be awesome. So I did that, and then
you did this?
No, I saw that. Sorry, I misspoke there. I saw that, and my buddy was like, "Dude, they have like cosplay versions that you can actually like use and fight with, and they won't break. Like you can get legit sabers made out of metal." I'm like, no fucking way. So he sent me to this dude, and this could be another cool thing besides the Disney one. They have like 60 million different parts, so you order each part differently, and you can build your own. So if you can see this here, crazy. Dude, configure. Let's see. So they start you off, and they kind of like build one, and then you can like do your own thing from there. So I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I built I literally got lost. I was supposed to be editing Greg from Cashed Out, came and did a podcast. I was supposed to be editing that video, and the whole day I was just playing with sabers, like trying to create my own. Let me see if I have a picture of the one I did.
I feel you, man. I'm an easily distracted man, so I'm pretty quick to just be like, I know I'm supposed to be doing this, but like,
yeah,
what's this thing?
What's
this?
Is
shiny.
Yes. So here's my I did kind of like the Templar Knights kind of style with like the purple and the cross. I thought was dope. And then I got this one, which was kind of like it had the blades on it. I'm like, that's dope. If I could turn that into like a bow.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, those are some of the things. But yeah, thank you so much for getting me back into Star Wars, pretty much, and like bringing new life to it because it's been fucking awesome.
It's such a good time to be a Star Wars fan.
It really is, or even a Marvel fan. Like a lot of the stuff coming out with the Marvel stuff is going to be just as good.
I'm balls deep in both, man.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about too. Is the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes. So that was one that when we were talking about it, I should have gone back and watched it. So when I was younger, I love what's her name? She just came down with COVID. I read.
Yeah, I've seen most of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but not the last season.
That was what I had it took me, I didn't watch it as it was coming out, and they finally put it on Netflix. I was like, I'm going to, I watched it, and then I was like, nah, I feel like that's not enough for me. So I ended up watching all of it over again.
Yeah.
And so I watched like the first 6 seasons and then watched the last season, which made the last season's better if you like refresh yourself on the previous seasons. And
keep it all fresh, and then all of the emotions hit harder. Yeah.
Well, doing it so fast all at once too, it's just like, how Fitz is my favorite character in that.
He's a good actor too.
Seeing him go from like just like this timid little like, hey, I got my night gun. What do you mean I can't call it a night gun?
Yeah.
And then he just then he goes to that like evil dictator phase when they're all in the freaking framework and shit. And that's he's actually not really in the last season a whole lot.
I was gonna say he wasn't really in it, right?
The screen time that you do get of him is like really, really satisfying to his story arc.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's just
I
the
should- I
way
should
the way
start
everything.
again.
I was just like, man, I can really like, I get down with this. I am, however, really, really disappointed that they never followed through with giving Ghost Rider his own TV show.
Yeah, I wasn't
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
I wasn't crazy about the Ghost Rider arc though. Like I wasn't.
You didn't
really
like that
sold-
Ghost Rider? I thought he was a
wasn't-
way better Ghost Rider than Nick Cage, man.
Oh, obviously, but like I don't know. I wasn't into it.
Was
I
that
was
in
like,
this
eh.
too?
My favorite arcs were Hive, when Ward became Hive and they went to the planet. That was sick.
that was good.
That was super good.
Hive's like his like true form with like the octopus
Yeah.
face thing that
Like
Hydra based
Cthulhu.
all their mythology on is like
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was like Cthulhu. I thought that was probably the best arc, and the framework arc was pretty good. I thought too.
I love that. Was like
Um,
that was some
with
trippy
Ada,
shit. Just
Like when you found out Ada was the bad person, that arc or whatever.
get trapped in the computers, like
Yeah,
Matrixy.
yeah.
My problem is that I went through the first couple seasons, maybe up to 3 or 4. I saw, Fitz going bad and then back, and I saw Ward, that whole arc.
Mhm.
But then I think I kind of fell off
Yeah.
for a little bit, and then I've watched episodes here and there. So that's why I needed to go back. But I guess my thing, too, is I want to see how it all fits together. I know it's not exactly like some of the other things, but how it fits with the Marvel movies. Because I remember, like, at the end of Thor, or at the end of the one before Thor, he's like, oh, I got to go check something out in Mexico. And then they kind of bring that story into the series, and then it goes back and relates to Thor or something like that. But
Yeah, there is. I think the Thor stuff is the most tied in on the TV show because there's an episode the Lady Sif was in, and
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
there was another episode with like some professor is just some random Asgardian who was on Earth or whatever. But
Right.
Yeah.
no, I didn't really like.
it didn't really tie with the movies.
There was
per
like
se.
there was behind the scenes stuff going on as far as like why they ended up getting separated more and
Right.
disconnecting from their TV and Disney Plus becoming a whole thing. And so like there was all this like, just who's making money off of what, who's willing to give up money on what, and who's making decisions that like affected that more than actual like story reasons.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
It got pretty separate.
it never got more crossovery, but
Yeah.
it looks like we're gonna get a lot of awesome Marvel TV shows anyway. So I don't
Yeah.
really.
WandaVision, I think, comes out this month or next month, right? Very
Yeah,
soon.
WandaVision comes out like
This
a
month?
week or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
like 10
nice.
days or some shit
Yeah.
like that.
And that's
I
gonna
think
be
the 15th.
and that's gonna be like sitcom-y style, right? It's gonna be like different. It's gonna be very weird.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna like do not
A
just
mix, like
like
it's
it looks
gonna
like it'll be like a 50s sitcom and then it looks like it'll be a 70s sitcom like looks like the time era of sitcom is gonna switch up.
yeah.
I don't know.
and
I
just-
couldn't. It was hard to gauge because the trailer is just so all over.
Yeah,
the
and
place.
like
Yeah.
where this fits in the timeline, or is this gonna be like some sort of like alternate weird like?
You got to think they're
Well,
going to tie it in somehow because they've been doing such a good job of it
Yeah.
already. Why not just tie it in?
And does Vision?
it's
come
supposed
back?
to tie in immediately to the Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, okay, like before going into
It's-
it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like one of the like this is whatever WandaVision leads into is supposed to tie into the
And side note,
multiverse of madness shit.
yeah. And side note, random, like whatever happened with Vision after the snap it in Endgame? Did Vision come back? We never saw him. And Vision died.
And I would imagine they did that on purpose to answer that question because I don't know because they still had to do something with the stones.
And did we see Wanda too? Was Wanda in Endgame at the end?
Yeah, Wanda was at the funeral.
No, but like at the fight.
Yeah, they all were, right?
Vision
there's
wasn't.
that
Oh.
one scene where it was like all the
Okay.
female superheroes came
Yeah,
and kicked
you're
ass,
right.
and she
Okay,
was
yeah, yeah.
like,
She was part of
because
that.
she was like the one that was like, because Wanda might be,
Isn't she?
I don't know, between her and Captain Marvel, I think.
They're
there's
the
I,
strongest,
I
right?
think we're gonna find out in 10 days what's going on here. But
I
yeah.
am, dude. The Spider-Man though, they're going to be bringing back all of the
Yeah.
live-action Spider-Mans. Like that's going to be insane.
I think it's gonna be cool. But are they biting off into the Spider-Verse?
Oh, totally. But like, I don't think that like Into the Spider-Verse, like all of these movies and animated movies and live-action movies, like they're all kind of derived from some kind of comic book arc or
Yeah.
some
they're
kind
all
of graphic novel
pulled from
arc.
there.
So
But it'll be interesting. To
I
see
would
how-
imagine it'll probably be like similar to that, but like it's also not like it looks like the whole multiverse thing is going to be all over the place
Yeah.
because of the Doctor Strange movie, whatever happens in the WandaVision show. So
It's-
like I think that will play a big part in all.
They're basically like, all right, we need some hardcore plot armor. How can we do this? We need multiverse. We can basically make whatever happen. You know?
Which I'm totally on board with because the comic books already do that shit.
They do that anyway.
you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. So we're gonna see.
So
a lot
why
of
not?
great shit. Yeah.
Have 3 Spider-Mans. Let's do it. Like it
Yeah.
sounds fun to me. And then what they're gonna bring? I heard they're bringing Charlie Cox back to be Daredevil.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I heard that too.
I
That's a
loved him
great
as
decision.
Daredevil.
Great decision. Yeah.
I was really bummed that those like all the defenders weren't more tied in with the movies. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel
that
like
kind of
and I feel like Daredevil was really the standout show out of all of them. And Jessica Jones season 1 with Kilgrave. Everything else wasn't really crazy about. Defenders was cool, it was a little limited series thing, it was dope, but really Daredevil and Jessica Jones season 1 only was like really what was good to me. Iron Fist was cool.
Yeah, I liked it all, but I wasn't. I like as far as like going back and like watching it and being like, man, I like this is so like I agree with you that like Daredevil and
I would
But
rewatch Daredevil for sure.
Both seasons of The Punisher are pretty good.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Punisher
really
was
like
good
the
too.
Punisher.
Punisher was good. Yeah, I forgot.
And
about Punisher.
whatever they do, they better keep John Bernthal as the Punisher. Like that man deserves to play Frank Castle until he's incapable of playing Frank Castle
Did you
because
like-
he was so goddamn good at it.
What did you think of the original Punisher movie that came out with John Travolta and Thomas Jane? Remember, like early 2000s?
Man, it's
And so long.
I've done a
ago.
lot of things that fry my brain since I saw that movie.
I remember enjoying it. It was good. Makes
I
him
don't.
hold.
That was like one of those movies that like was just kind of an excuse to go like kind of watch the movie, but like also kind of just make out with the chick. So
Yep, definitely.
that was like that was that era for me of just like, oh yeah, like we're gonna go to the movies and like what's a good long movie? Oftentimes is the decision. Like what's the longest movie they got out right now?
I always get confused sometimes too because there's so many different actors that play characters sometimes that it can be hard to follow. Like having 2 different Flashes simultaneously, like watching the Flash TV show and then also seeing the movies. It's like I know the character because he's masked, so it's But at the same time, I thought Guston or whatever his name is, Grant something,
Grant
or something
Grant Gustin.
Gustin or whatever. I thought he was a great Flash.
He's good. Yeah, I like him.
Now I love what's his name too. Well, did you see the crossovers on TV where the last one was dope? They brought all the movie characters.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Dude, they had the 2 Flashes, so they had the Flash from the movie and they had the Flash from the TV series. I don't want to say Batman, but they had all the other characters too that have movies out. They brought from the movie and it was crazy. And they had cameos from like, you guys remember Smallville? They had Tom, whatever his name was from Smallville. That was a great TV show.
I heard they had Lucifer on that even.
Yes, they had random ass people on there. It was, if you get a chance, go watch it. It's so entertaining.
Lucifer is a DC comic.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
no
that was
clue.
like it's really not like I mean, I looked into the comics and it's not anything like the TV show. Like he's not escaping from hell to go be on a crime drama.
Right.
But it was the character Lucifer Morningstar was like based on a DC comic character. So I think a lot of like the more metaphysical shit in that show is kind of derived from that. But yeah, he was technically in the mix with all that shit too, because I was reading, I'm like, what, Lucifer's crossed over into this too? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I haven't seen a lot of that stuff. The only I think the only TV show based DC wise is Gotham. I finished watching that.
Oh, that's so
not
good.
too long ago.
I saw a little bit of it.
Dude, did
I
miss?
really liked Gotham.
I remember enjoying it though.
Because of COVID and tour, I think I missed like the last, or maybe I watched it all but thought there was another season, but there wasn't. Because I don't remember how it ended. I don't remember it ending, and I love Gotham. It was such a great show.
It gives you a pretty good like. It never really like. It doesn't really do any Batman stuff, but like it ends with like Bruce is grown up and he's Batman. But they put you there. Like there's a lot of. It's wild, man. Like did you see the Well, Robbie hasn't seen it, so I don't want to ruin it in case.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Do you when they had like the world pretty much abandoned Gotham and they were like on their own fucking
islanded
off and shit?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was pretty much the end of like getting out of that fucking situation. But the
Oh.
villains made that show, man.
Oh, they
Seeing
so
the
did.
villains become the iconic Batman villains over the course of that was like I thought that was the best part of that show.
Dude,
And that kid from Shameless was
Yes.
a killer Joker,
Oh
man.
my goodness.
He was such a good Joker.
Shameless is back too. I was just watching some of the episodes the other day.
I have not watched as much of that show as I should. It's so good, and I
It's
love
so
what I
good.
have. And my girlfriend keeps saying, like, no, seriously, you need to watch Shameless, like all of it. And
Yeah.
you know, I always was just like, yeah, but I'm just gonna end up watching the same old nerd shit I always do, which is why I've seen all the Marvel and DC. Well, not all the DC shit, but the shit that I have.
Are you excited for the Snyder cut of Justice League? What do you think about that?
You know, I actually haven't seen the other I haven't seen Justice League at all.
Oh, it's
I
garbage.
haven't really.
It's garbage.
I was just so kind of not after Batman versus Superman. I was just kinda
Garbage.
like, eh.
Like-
Like DC just wasn't killing it, and all of the Marvel movies were so
Same.
good. And I already kind of leaned toward Marvel anyway, so I was just kind of like, I don't really.
I-
Until I watched Gotham recently, I had not been psyched on DC characters.
have a
and
little
now
bit-
I'm kind of like,
Yeah, I have a little bit of hope for the Snyder cut. Apparently, it's going to be like 4 hours long, and it's going to have a bunch of characters. And Green Lantern is supposed to make an appearance. Yeah,
That much?
That
Like
sounds
they
fun.
cut that much out of a movie where they can make a whole 4-hour.
yeah, and apparently there's a
Continuation
lot
or-
more Joker scenes in it too. Like apparently it's going to be like an epic.
That's what sucks is that I really feel like minus the standalone Joker, they didn't do a good job with him in the the Birds of Prey and all that stuff to really kind of
Yeah.
build the character up.
Birds of Prey wasn't that great.
And I don't think they're doing Jared Leto anymore. Didn't they already say what's
Yeah, I
his
think
name's
he's done.
doing Joker?
Yeah, I think he's done.
Robert Pattinson is doing Joker or someone? Or
No,
is he doing
No,
Batman?
he's
gonna be
Batman.
He's Batman, yeah.
I don't think there's going to be another Jared Leto Joker appearance after this Snyder cut.
Yeah.
He didn't do.
he's kind of a weird like.
He's a great, brilliant actor, but he went too extreme with the Joker. He went.
Yeah, he's just like
he went
took
too.
it too far, man.
He went and he went.
You
Gangster.
can't go full
Like,
retard.
and like Joker is not a gangster. He kind of went with like this kind of urban gangster look feel with the face tattoos and the vibe, and it's just like it's not believable.
I
as
like-
Joker.
Yeah. When you're talking about the story
Yeah,
and the character.
He was this character.
Yeah, like the Joker's too unhinged to sit there and get a face tattoo that like looks remotely
Yeah.
like a
And-
face tattoo
but
like
at-
that would.
yeah,
Like
and
I can get if he's just like got some like crazy shit that fucking.
yeah, but at
But
the
it
same
would be chaotic, you know.
yeah, and at the same time, how he like acted was like so deranged that it was too deranged. He's crazy, but he's also calculated. He's
I don't know. Heath Ledger's Joker was pretty deranged.
But he was very not in the way that Jared Leto was, and Heath Ledger's Joker was believable because he was so evil, but he wasn't in the like
yeah.
like over the top.
Jack
know.
Nicholson still crushes it. I still love his
See,
Joker,
and he did-
even though
he
it was
did-
old school.
And he did the goofy Joker right.
Yeah.
Because he leaned into the goofy. He didn't lean into the I'm deranged, but also like a gangster.
But there was one
like
where
gold
he came off
chains and
super
shit.
cheesy though, the Joker. I can't remember. It was after Jack Nicholson. But yeah, it sucks DC didn't really capitalize and do a better job because they could be right
Yeah.
there with Marvel if they would have kind of combined everything and did a better job.
They
of-
saw what Marvel was building, and they were like, we need to
I
catch up.
think to
Yeah.
pull off what Marvel pulled off is just like the fact that they have done that
It's
in
insane.
the first place is like you couldn't expect one comic book company to pull that off, let alone any.
Well,
Like it's crazy that they 23 movies to do what they did with all the Avengers movies and all the individual movies and
It's
have like that
insane.
kind of accomplishment with crossover characters and everything like on that big of a scale is just like that's a lot, man. Like that's incredible they did all that.
And they planted all of the seeds very early.
And do you know one of the common
Yeah.
factors in a lot of this stuff in the Star Wars that we're talking is Jon Favreau, man. He's one of my favorite
Yeah.
director, producer, writer. Like
100%, man.
he's-
Absolutely.
I mean, he really brought Mandalorian to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's such a good show. Now, there's some times where I'm like, oh, I don't want it to get episodic. Sometimes it seemed a little episodic, but it was still well written and just great. And yeah, I definitely cried the last the last Mandalorian.
There were feelings.
There were definitely feelings.
There were a
there.
lot,
Lot
of
of
feelings.
feelings.
It was just like my heart was like almost kind of stopped at the end there, and I just like realized what was going on.
When you saw the X-wing like in the background, I was like, "What?" I was like, "No, are they?" Are they? No, they're not gonna. No,
I don't want to give away too
no,
much.
no. That's not him. That's not him. And then they're like, oh god, it's him.
Well, this might give it away a little bit, but I was gonna say it is crazy how the effects they did for Mark Hamill's character were better than the movie. Like when they tried to make him young in the movie, I feel like they did a better job in the TV show. It was so good.
It wasn't perfect, but it was like it's okay.
It's okay.
We like.
I didn't even care about that. You know what? The
See what I mean?
Some hooded
Exactly.
dude with
See
a
what I
metal
mean?
hand slashing the green lightsaber.
See,
like,
it
that's all
didn't
that-
it didn't matter
that's all
that
I
it looked
wanted.
perfect. It's just that he showed up, that he was there, and you were looking at him.
Yeah.
You know, like it was cool.
I really quickly before I ever forget, I think the one thing I didn't like about episode 1, 2, and 3, the only gripe I had is I didn't like the CGI Yoda. That threw me off too. Between him and Jar Jar Binks, it kind of annoyed me. Like I like the puppet Yoda, and I like how they do the
Another
puppet
good
baby
decision
Yoda.
by Jon Favreau was to keep Grogu being a puppet,
Yep.
being animatronic.
Do you
Because
know?
you're right, it's way better.
It's so much better, dude. And I got actually this is my first Funko Pop I ever got was the
a good one.
Mandalorian with the baby Yoda. And
I've got to build a bear baby Yoda for the boy.
oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
gonna grab it.
Hell yeah.
Man, I miss Bobby. Oh, there he is. Oh,
I'm back.
Oh, that's
I
so
brought a friend.
fucking dope.
Right?
man,
Isn't
it's
it
perfect.
awesome?
I didn't so like I know Funko's a collectible, but I got so lucky with this one because it's the shiny Beskar, whereas the other ones are kind of like, you know, the war worn one. But after I got so I just Googled it, and then it happened that they had one at the store right around from my house at the GameStop around from my house. So I went and I got it. And I'm like, I'm surprised this is here. I'm surprised like a Star Wars nerd didn't like scoop this up quickly, because I don't remember seeing any other shiny Beskars. And then I did the research, and apparently there's like less than 100 of these that they made. So like
Wow. You got real lucky.
Oh, wow.
yeah, like now I don't know if they've printed more, but as far as that first series
That's awesome.
that came out, there was only 100 of these.
Should have kept it in the box.
Yeah, but yes, but here's the thing though. I thought about that, but I was like, I just take a quick shine to it, stick it back in the box. You won't even be able to tell.
Mm-hmm. Just keep her nice. She's beautiful.
And I don't collect these things to resell anyway.
Not
I don't
bad.
know. I think this will
Right
be
now.
worth it. But I will take good care of this though. I do have the box over there nice and neat. This will go back in the box at some point, you know. But yeah, no, this is cool. It's like the 10-inch one too. I didn't know they made like big ones. It's basically, it's weird that, you know, like back in the day they had the pet rock. It was like, hey, buy a pet rock. Now it's like at the heart of it, people are spending like $40, $50, $60. And someone offered me like maybe a couple thousand for it or something like that, something crazy, which is stupid. You know, I would never buy it. But because they know they'll make more than that down the road. But also, basically, this is just a bobblehead. Isn't that what Funko Pops are? Just bobbleheads of characters? Like,
Yeah. But it's like their style. They got a style and a brand.
It's definitely got a very notable style to it. Like you see it and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
that's true.
And the people that are into it, they're into it, man.
Yeah,
And
they're
there's
so into it.
walls of these things.
Well, getting my first one is like tattoos. I got all my tattoos in about a 3-year span. And then I didn't get a lot. And now I've had small ones, you know, recently. But it's same with this. Like this, getting the first one makes me want to get a bunch more. Yeah.
Go all Star Wars.
Yeah, like by the time season 3 is done, I'm just going to have Funkos all over here, you know? Dude, are you a big alien person?
In what sense?
Just in real life?
Do I believe in aliens?
Yeah, or do you believe not even conspiracies, but believe there's almost like a bigger kind of thing going on right now? Like there is a galactic federation and other things like that?
I have no idea, and I am open to being convinced otherwise. I'm kind of like a show me and I'll believe you kind of thing. But I also think that it would be, I don't know. I'm torn between like feeling like it would be foolish to assume that there isn't like a lot of other, not even just like some intelligent life out there, but like a lot of other intelligent life, just because the universe is so large and so vast.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've also like, you'll go down those like 3 a.m. Wikipedia rabbit holes, and I'll like start reading about the Fermi Paradox and like reasons why maybe you don't see any other intelligent life. Maybe there is other intelligent life that can't get off its planet because it'll destroy itself before it gets to that point, or there is intelligent life, but they're cephalopods, so they aren't capable of,
Going into
evolving
space, yeah.
in that sense and getting off their planet ever. Which is weird to think about because like somebody told me once, I don't know the validity of this because I'm not a zoologist,
Right.
but I had heard that octopi or octopuses are just they're like such an intelligent creature, but they learn all of everything an octopus learns over its lifetime. It doesn't get taught anything by like the parent octopus. So, which makes me wonder, like, would we be behind octopus in as far as just like that sense of like intelligent creature?
Right.
If it were able, like the way I'm able to like teach my kids skills, like if an octopus could teach its baby octopus like how to be a fucking octopus,
Right.
where would octopuses be? There's a lot of ocean. So, and that's when I think of aliens. That's when I get in the whole Fermi Paradox rabbit hole. I think that's what I think about. It's just like alien fucking squids just swimming around, just like, I'm some of the most intelligent life in the galaxy, but I'm a fucking squid. So I'm gonna stay here in this ocean on this planet that's nowhere near here. And
I'm so smart. In fact, I know I should just be in this water vibing right now. Just be chilling. I'm that smart. I know not to be in anyone else's business.
So this is the video.
Fucking A, Robert.
This is the video from a Shell corporation. They were doing deep oil drilling, and oh man, why are these ads in the way? Get the fuck out of here! Why is this so weird? There you go. But look at this alien, dude. That's alien. That's an octopus.
Yeah.
But what you were talking about, like,
It's
the
a
fact that they're so
cephalopod, bro.
smart, yeah.
Definitely some form of cephalopod for sure.
Yep. But it's just crazy how things like that are.
Well, there's so much more ocean than land, so it's like,
I asked you about
like what we haven't just explored so much of our own oceans. Like how much more
crazy.
shit like that is down there. Like I don't know what kind of even more intelligent life's down there. Like we're talking about aliens, like outer space and stuff like that. Like we don't even really know everything that's in our own ocean. Like.
Or even like if you
know,
go
if they've been developing longer, if life has been developing down there longer, so much than it has here on land.
Yep.
Like,
True.
Who's to say that there isn't like some kind of other species who's like, yeah, I don't want y'all fucking dirty humans to find what the hell we're up to, and we're probably so far beyond advanced, so much further advanced than us right now that they could probably hide if they wanted to. So I believe in aliens in the ocean and in outer space. That's my opinion on the matter. There you go.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, definitely there. And I feel like it maybe even goes farther. Like, I have this post up. It says a Harvard professor. And I remember when they were talking about this, but they didn't really make it into a big deal. But, like, I remember, and they're not saying that aliens necessarily came, but it was even being space trash, that this is definitely something from, like, another galaxy or another planet, So it might not have been a spaceship, but they said what the crazy part is that, the sun kind of gravitates. There's a certain... they know how fast something's going or getting sucked in by the gravitational force, and they're saying that it passed the sun and then sped up, which is impossible if it was a comet. And they looked for all the signs. Like they said it could be like nitrogen or something, like frozen nitrogen that was getting heated by the sun, which propels it. But then you would see a trail or a tail with it, and there was no tail. So it's kind of cool in that sense. But I think it's scary to think that us as humans thinking that we're the smartest things that have been on this planet, but there's so much evidence that even, some of the Egyptians are like, I've gotten...
What kind of evidence that people are dumb as hell?
Yeah. Well, just the fact that like, even the Egyptians, other people could have been way more advanced in different ways. Like they might not have had computers, but they had ways of doing,
Of moving.
What do you think the pyramids were for?
From what I read or what I think they were for, the Egyptians didn't even build them. They were there before them, and then they kind of took over them. But I think they were built as an energy source, like solar power.
Yeah, power plant. That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's got to be that. And you got to...
There's so many, like, the materials used in the pyramid. Like, there's some things that are, like, a lot of the minerals used are, like, things that are more conductive if there's more pressure on them. And so like the way it's built and it weighs down, the way the quartz the paneling used to be before looters and stuff stripped it, and be like a giant mirror. How the water used to be. There's like, you know, when they're like, oh, there's a way, like the tunnels that don't make sense as far as like walking in a tunnel, or things that would make sense if they were used for hydroelectric stuff.
So isn't that
some
crazy?
of the hieroglyphics look like light bulbs and stuff like that. Like I think it was a power plant for sure, dude.
Are you familiar with like the Anunnaki theory and all that, and the Nibiru and the gold and all that conspiracy theory? Or basically the idea is like there's this...
Well, they do know that the pyramids were covered with gold or metal too. So it's crazy to think that they used it for not only hydropower but solar power. Now the other theory is that if you look at the way the magnetic forces on Earth are, they form grids or whatever. Now it's
Waylands, I think they're called.
Yeah, exactly. And they shift over time. But if they calculated of when it would have shifted back when the Egyptians or when the pyramids would have been built, and they line up perfectly with all of those. And we think there's only like the 3 great pyramids, but when they did the LiDAR scanning, it's hundreds of pyramids, like all over the fucking continent. Like it's crazy.
Maybe all over the world.
Especially Africa. No, it's everywhere. Africa, everywhere. It's like hundreds of pyramids, and they all line up on those different grids. And so if you had that many powered by the sun, they probably had like free power and free, water.
It's like that's a lot of the stuff that like you just, never really came to fruition, but writings and scribblings of Nikola Tesla, like the things that he was onto are things like that, being able to have basically free energy, free Wi-Fi kind of thing by manipulating just the natural,
magnetic fields,
polarity of the planet and how everything's lined up. It's like that. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, some people are like, that sounds crazy. It's just like, well, no, you've just been listening to all the things involved,
right? And you've just like been taught, another thing which is funny, I'll bring up kind of, is I heard that we as humans think at a genius level from ages 1 to 3, and then from like ages 4 to 17, we slowly start to decrease that till it's about like we use about 10% of our brain. Even some of the smartest people in the world only use like 10 to 12% of their brain. And the reason is at around age 3 is when we start getting told no, or you can't do this, or that's not possible, or whatever. And what they're saying is if, when your kids get to that age, even though it might not physically be possible, if they say, well, why can't we fly? Instead of just saying, no, it's not possible, like, well, why isn't it possible? Or what would it take to be possible? So it gets those parts of your brain thinking and stimulating, which grows different neurons in your brain. So I think that's such an interesting thing because, we think we're so smart, but then at the same time, it's like, I think greed and money and stuff, the way our society has almost, a big part of it. And I don't think we'll really get to our full potential until everyone's on the same page, which, who knows?
You're telling me, man, if we're using 10% of our brains, I think I'm running at like 6.5.
Well, I was going to say, I might be around, I might be like Spotify payouts and be like cents on the dollar, dude,
people might think they're smart, but I feel like I get dumber by the day, man. I get older, I'm just like, I don't know shit, bro.
Another thing that I so today I was online and I always see this. I don't know if it's just me or if you notice this, and this is just another caveat of social media, which I hate. I feel like there's all those fake made up days and like months and stuff. Like it used to just be Black History Month in February, or it used to just be whatever. Now every day they're saying, but I would get if one specific day was for one thing, but it's not. Like it's, today's Taco Day. Today's also Little Kitty Day. Today's also this. I'm like, well, what is it? Is it one or the other? And like,
I swear there's like 3 siblings day a year. I'm just like, I never know when any of these things, these aren't real holidays. Like there's a holiday like pretty much every day, but there's like an actual national holiday. Like,
right.
Don't trust Facebook, man. I don't know which one of those are registered. You're dealing with unregistered holidays.
No. Yeah. But like, I see at least like, we were just joking before the podcast. So I was like, I see at least like 5 like puppy days a year. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be once a year? Like, I'm so confused why there's so many.
Yeah, if a holiday is a once a year kind of thing, or it's not a holiday, it's just a thing you do.
It's just so silly to me that like that's why we're not chilling with aliens. They don't want anything to do with us. They're
No,
like,
they
these
don't.
guys are so dumb that
We're just
like it's
caught up.
not even
We're
worth our
so-
time.
We're so caught up in ourselves. That's what it is,
Yeah.
man.
You're all so self-absorbed.
Exactly.
You're
We're
not gonna do anything good
self-absorbed.
for the rest of the universe.
We're all
You're just gonna make it dirty. You're
We're
just
just-
gonna make it dirty.
we're-
Stay on Earth.
Yeah.
Humans for thousands of years have just been collecting money. Just little pieces of paper, rocks, metal, just collecting our points. I got all my points. I want all my points. For me and my friends and family and no one else. My points. Oh,
Are you-
why are you gonna do that? Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Tom Segura?
I can't say that I am.
Oh, the comedian. He was trying to do. I brought this up. 'cause
Good
it was
news for
funny,
you then.
Well, he tried to do a dunk and he basically like broke himself. He like
No shit.
dude, he like blew out his knees. I think he was in the
Dude, I think I saw this video.
and I can't watch it. It's too gross for me. But it's just weird because he like slips and then suddenly his body just breaks in half.
Yeah, I
I'm
hadn't
like,
I
what
hadn't
the
heard
fuck?
about this until I like showed up right before this, and I saw the video. It's messed up, and it's like he hurt himself so bad. But in the video, it looks like he slips, and then his arm just like swings back and like this. It was just so unnatural looking. It was awful. I feel-
Oh man.
Yeah, I
I
feel-
remember that happened in it was the Eastern Conference playoffs in like, or no, maybe it was the opening game of the season. I think the year the Cavaliers won Larry O'Brien, and it was us and the Celtics playing, and it was you're just like, all right, this is sweet, like good matchup, two really good teams, and it was like a minute into the game, Gordon Hayward was playing for the Celtics at the time, and he came down from fucking I think it was just like even a layup or something. It was like such a not crazy thing that happened right as the game was beginning, and he just like the way he snapped his ankle was. It like you were saying, like it looked unnatural. Like it was fucked up looking to the point where they like were not showing the replays the way they did. Like the first couple times they did it, they were just like, "Yeah, we can't show. Like
it's
we got to
pretty
cut
bad.
away from this. This
And
is really gruesome looking."
And there was that one really, really bad leg break, like back in the 70s in football. I think someone like really like just destroyed their leg. I remember seeing a video. Forget who though, but yeah, it's awful.
There's that one. Oh, is the kid who's in like a backyard wrestling ring or something? You guys seen that one? His legs just like bend the wrong way.
Oh yeah, that's
and just
awful.
like his knees just snap the wrong direction.
Are you a wrestling fan at all? Or no?
No,
Yeah. So it's funny,
I'm not.
and I need to stop talking about this, but when I was super young, like in middle school maybe, I was probably even out of it by the time I was finished middle school. I was a big wrestling fan because they had The Rock and Stone Cold and stuff. And back then they were still kind of kayfabing it. Like you knew it was scripted, but like it was just different. And then I didn't watch it forever, and now I recently got back into it, and I'm dead serious when I say I'm gonna train, and I'm like working to become a pro wrestler. But I don't care about being on TV. I just want to have like a match. You know, like I just want to actually get
Hell
out
yeah.
there and do some fucking flips and like
Just have fun with it.
yeah, just have fun with it and actually like try to do it once. I think that would be such a fun random ass like bucket list thing to do. Like Pat McAfee, he has his own like fucking series show. He's a huge fan of wrestling and now he's signed to WWE. Like it's crazy.
Man, the Ambrosia twins set
Yes.
that up at Weekend at Wolfie's the one year
Yep.
between it was them versus our horn section.
The sex. That was so
Ambrosia's against the sax.
it was so funny. That was a great thing. I wish I could have been there. I think we were on
That was a
tour
great
where I could have
wrestling
been
match.
there.
I just remember seeing Derek grab. I don't remember who he grabbed. I think it was Justin, and he just like violently kissed him on the mouth, and then he sold it so well. Like I didn't realize that part was scripted. I thought he just went off fucking on his own thing and just was like, I don't know how to do. Like I'm just gonna go in. But they scripted the whole thing. Like the
awesome.
twins came up with all the shit, and they just practiced ahead of time, and then I was really entertained by watching those fools wrestle each other.
Yeah, that was great.
It's a show. Wrestling's a show, man.
Yeah.
See, and like I wouldn't watch wrestling on TV, but if somebody's like, "Hey, yeah, I got tickets to WrestleMania, you trying to go?" and I
Oh, fuck yeah.
just didn't have any, I'd be like, "Sure, fuck yeah, let's go down. Let's go down to the whatever they changed our arena to. I don't know what the hell the Rocket City Mortgage Arena or something.
Oh yeah, I can never keep up with all the. I feel like Baltimore's
the
lucky
Rock.
that
I think they're gonna call it the Rock.
they should.
I don't know. Nobody's really like 300 people I think can show up for Cavs games right now.
Oh, really? Wow.
Tickets are like $15 though, so I'm
Oh, really?
It's not bad.
yeah, I'm gonna mask
Dude,
up and hit a Cavs game, bro. Like
Dude, I'll come.
I miss sports.
Yeah, that's like
I
Oriole
know.
tickets.
Like
here.
going to sport. Like I love going to basketball games, so I'm
I
trying to do
think
that as
this year
soon
would-
as possible.
I think this year with baseball, they'll be able to do games with fans because, NFL did it even during the winter.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
think
like
baseball
that,
will
but-
definitely be. Once the NFL did, it was kind of like outside will definitely find ways to do it.
Mhm.
And now the basketball's letting their limited capacity, and I don't know. I'm just hoping they'll just like figure shit out more and more. And I don't know. I'm not in charge of any of that stuff, dude. I'm just kind of rolling with the flow.
Yeah, that's why we are not people that are. That's way above our pay grade. Just a couple more things here, and then we'll get you out of here. Did you ever watch Dinosaurs, or was that too before your time?
Like this sitcom, man.
Yeah,
On ABC and shit. Yeah, dude. I was like a little kid, but I love dinosaurs.
dude,
That goofy little baby dinosaur and
I
shit.
just got this T-shirt, the Not the Mama T-shirt.
Ha!
That's why I wore it. But I wore it because it's coming back to Disney Plus. They're bringing it back to Disney
Nice.
That is awesome.
at the end of January.
great news.
So yes, so
That's fantastic.
I can't.
Man, I was excited. HBO just added Courage the Cowardly Dog. And that
Oh,
was a
yeah.
childhood favorite of mine. It's such a messed up cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know why it was a children's cartoon. And I
Dude.
say that all the time. And yet I found myself, I'm like, oh, it's on HBO. So I put on Courage the Cowardly Dog for me and my 2-year-old. And he just like sits down. And he's just like, he seems as fascinated by that as the Wiggles. And like, I'm hoping he doesn't have nightmares tonight because then I'm going to feel like a bad dad.
Well, I'll
It's just colors and stuff to him now anyway. He doesn't understand fear or horror. I was old enough to be just like, I am terrified to be in the dark right now. And I'd watch it every night anyway because I loved it.
It was
I,
so good.
I feel like when I was super little and Fraggle Rock came on, it scared me. Like they had some scary things. That was like the Jim Henson thing, but it was like a darker Muppets.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
It was creepy. But
Kind of like the Dark Crystal or whatever.
so I just got my first guitar ever. You're a guitarist. My first guitar ever was a Fender Squire, but it was a pretty nice one, and it sounded great, man. It played well. It was like black and like had a black white marble, and then had like gold fixtures on it. And I
Ooh,
told myself,
Black and gold's always fresh.
oh, dude, yeah, I love it. I need to. When I had to sell it when I was a teen, I was super upset. But I told myself if I ever had the chance, I would buy a real American Fender. So I finally just got.
Oh man, those
I love
American-made
Fenders,
Fenders
dude.
are nice, dude.
It was worth every penny, man. I mean, it's worth it's worth every penny, and it's a HSS, so it's a humbucker single. So it rocks out
Ooh.
too. It sounds great, and you just flip up the switch and it switches, so you can go to single.
And you have a
coil, like-
humbucker on there, like that is got to be a great guitar, man. If I'd ever get myself a Fender, I'd have to get an American-made one.
Mhm.
They have this really cool, like, I don't know, a buddy of my neighbors had like this. It was like a Fender acoustic guitar, but you had a bunch of different like digital settings on it or something.
Oh, wow.
How far they've come with digital stuff is just mind blowing.
It really is crazy. If I had some of this shit when I was younger, dude, I'd be famous. Like I would have been rocking out tunes, like instead of having to press record and play and then like record our shit on a tape. When I was in a band, one of the first things we were handing out in high school, I think, was tapes. I was like giving out tapes to all these kids with our songs on it. So I'm like, damn, if I only had this. Now I can do everything. Like, you can do it. You can record a song in a day if you really wanted to, you know?
Oh yeah, I'll stay up all night and record a song that's no good, but just
Yeah,
like hone in
But you can do it.
my chops and just like, all right, let's practice making a drum beat, practice coming up with the bass line. That you can put the MIDI keys in there, and then you can go in and be like, I don't want to fucking. Lets you be lazy, which is not a great thing sometimes, but it is like the capabilities. We have so much if you aren't using it to be lazy and you're using it to streamline what the hell you're trying to do, so you're not wasting a bunch of time nitpicking something, that's beneficial for sure. I'm getting way too involved in the MIDI key part of what we were talking about, but having all that stuff like a studio on your laptop like that is just like,
It's great.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I love it.
And but I bring that up because what's your favorite guitar that you own?
Right now it is sitting right over here. It's a Dean Thoroughbred is what they're called, and I was playing Dean ML's like the Dimebag style guitar forever, And I just want something that's like more versatile in the studio and like had a little more classic look and like just like fit what we're doing.
Yeah.
Musically a little more than like the
Nice.
crazy space metal guitar. But
That's
yeah,
nice.
it's like the Dean Guitars version of a Les Paul, and I love it because it has a Floyd Rose, so I can do like all my crazy whammy bar shit.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's so like in the studio, it's so versatile, and you can get so many tones out of just playing with the knobs. And you put this thing through a Kemper, and it's like I have the world at my fingertips, man. I love it.
Jeez. Yeah. That's the next thing.
I got two just like this. I got like just identical thoroughbreds. I got one, and I was just like, yeah, send me another one. Like, if I break a string, I don't want to play a different guitar now. I want to play this guitar still. So yeah, I just got two of these to roll with on stage. So if I do end up popping a string, I can just pick up the other one, just right where I left off. Same exact guitar.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got a satin neck on the back too, man.
See, that's what mine has.
Like,
it's satin, both the neck and the thing, and it's so. There's much better guitarists than me out there, but it really helps, especially with mine.
I wasn't sure how I was gonna like it.
Yeah.
It was new to me, and I was like, all right, let's try this guitar out. Like I think this is everything I want. Let's send me one of these bitches.
Yeah.
And as soon as I touched the satin neck, I was like, I was on the fence, wondering whether or not I'd like this, and now I don't not want it. I want every guitar I ever have to have a satin neck like this.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, a guitar I got, it was so like glossy. I sanded it. Like my neck was like I sanded it, and it just made it so much smooth and buttery. And I felt bad while I was like, should I really sand it? Because my buddy was like, yeah, you should try and sand it. It'll be smoother. And I did it, and I was like, this is so weird. But when I finally sanded the whole neck, I was like, this is great. And it was good.
So this is my other one. This is my axe. This is the one I like fucking rock out on. It's an It's an Ibanez, and it's one of my favorite. I've had it since I was a teen. It's one of my favorite guitars. It sounds so good, and I got a guy that's gonna clean it up and put new pickups and stuff in it.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
And then last thing I got here, I know you have tattoos. Do you have any that you regret?
No, I can't say that I do.
Good
I have
man.
some interesting tattoos, but
Yeah.
I don't regret a single one of them.
Yeah, same. I'm very lucky that I was never impatient or like tried to force anything. It's always come naturally. I just got my right hand man done, so I have like a little stick figure on my right hand. So
Nice.
it's like my right hand man. That's probably the goofiest one. That's probably the goofiest one I have. And then I'm working on. Oh, no one's gonna be able to see this. I don't even know why I'm trying to show this, but on the bottom, it's a pyramid, an Aztec pyramid. And then
Sick.
And then I got my turtle and the ocean. So I'm doing like jungle, ocean, pyramid, desert, kind of getting all the different things on my arm. Yeah, the ecosystems and stuff. Well, shit, dude. I had a lot of fun, man. And you're one of my favorite people. We don't always get to talk just because of how crazy things have been. But really appreciate
It was good getting
you.
to sit and chat. And
Yeah.
bullshit, nerd out for a little while.
Yeah.
Talk about alien shit, pyramids. It was a good way to spend the night, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, you're welcome back anytime, please. And then next time you guys are in town or something, you got to come in studio and really get the full vibe here.
Yeah, whenever they give the go ahead for people to start going and playing music everywhere again, we'll be the first people out there.
Oh yeah.
Just waiting for whatever we do. It's just follow the rules. I'm just wherever I am, I'm just gonna follow the rules, and I'm not try not to think about it too much, because if I try to think about it too much, my head's gonna explode, because everybody contradicts everything, and it's just like there's no way of knowing, like nothing about anything in my life makes sense, including the COVID. So I'm just like, if I think about it too much, my head will explode and I'll lose my mind. So I'm just like, I'm gonna follow the rules, do my best not to piss anybody off, do my best to not get sick, and just tell me when I can go play my guitar for people again.
Hell yeah. Well, be safe, man, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Definitely. You guys have a great night. Thanks for having me on. I had a great night.
Yes.
Of course. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Yeah, night, guys.